Hey everyone, and welcome back to Transport Fever. This is the Great Western Railway at the new station we made last time with our hybrid train. It's kind of weird. It's got both some cargo and some passengers on it. And the great news is, as you can see by this station, there is a huge number of people who want to use it. And I think we need to do something about that. So we're going to look at rolling stock today, and then maybe also do some expansion of some lines. Between episodes, I did hours and hours and hours of detailing and just enjoyed this new area. As you can see, it looks quite different. Put in this depot for the buses, give it a bit more space for all these huge number of people who want to get taken around town, and a little playground and some weeping willows and obviously a lot of fences and stuff like that. And then down here, I definitely enhanced our brickworks here. I put a road around the front, did some placeables of trams or cargo trams, and then put in a whole lot of underbrush of stone, and then made a whole lot of these little hills to make this whole thing kind of work together. As you can see, the train picks up passengers, then it comes over here and then fills up the the estate cars with bricks, in theory. I'm not sure why. There it goes. And then heads off. Looking at the money, it is great. And so the problem is it's full of bricks and it's full of people, and we could definitely do more. We could just dupe it, but I think the better choice is to split it into two trains. We should have a passenger train and a brick train. The tracks are actually set up correctly right now to do that. So if people came in and it was a passenger train, they could just go forward on that single track off to the station. And if it was a brick train, it could come here and then do a U-turn. So from a rail point of view, I think we're good. So what I'm going to do is let this guy come across and come into the new station. I've also done a whole lot of detailing around here. Let's get this out. It's like a lot of trees and stuff, and a lot more walls around the horseshoe area. You can see a nice horseshoe down there. Yeah, putting these stone walls just next to a dirt track really does give it a nice finished look. This dirt track got put in because there actually wasn't a very good way for people at this town to get that way. So if they wanted to go there, they had to come across here, go down the valley, cross over here, and then snake their way down. So I just used this opportunity at the back here to just put a little cut through in. In town, this is where a lot of the time was spent detailing. I actually redid all the tracks and actually redid the platforms a fair bit too. If we look at the lines, you can see that there is 4 lines or 3 lines coming into here. So our passenger service is coming in on the right. This is the main one to the mainland. And then alternatively, it can come over here. The dark blue, the one coming in right now, is our major freight line. And then in the middle is the shuttle service to over there. So we're going to have to work out how that's going to work, because there's that split trucks on that train. We've got cargo and passenger both available. So basically it came in, unloaded the cargo, and then the other side of the train picked up the passengers. But if we're going to have separate trains, we're going to have to work that out. So yeah, that's what else happened down here. Yeah, then people have actually grown to the right-hand side because I put these railway crossings across. The town was able to grow this way. I used the opportunity, because they were starting to grow over here, I used the opportunity to move our tram depot. It used to be sitting right here and stealing a growth spot. So I put it over here more on the hill and then slop down an asset. There was 2 train lines going forward over to our steel mill over here, and I brought it down to 1, and because it came down to 1, it was quite easy to turn it into a bridge. So I think this looks quite good. I think the decor matches the hill quite nicely, especially with the lake around here. I think it looks pretty good. If you want to see more about detailing, there's been lots of other episodes where we've played with that, and so I'm not going to show that too much today. But yeah, what I want to do is definitely address the rolling stock issue. Where has our train got to? Are you getting close? There he is. So we can watch this come in. Signals are doing their job around the corner. So this corner was relatively unchanged, but I did put in a whole lot of flowers. You can see there on the left-hand side, there's a whole lot of blue flowers, and I put in a whole lot more underbrush just to kind of give it a bit more life. And then here's this new fence, a new railway crossing, and all the signals got moved around. Yeah, I think it looks quite good. I'm quite happy with the way it came out. And then, as I said, this guy's going to come in, and you can see at the bottom it says heading for Dresden cargo. So it's going to unload to the left and then turn around and then pick up from the right. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Have a placed loco at the end of the platform here. Same design of as what we've got. Yeah, so this will unload to the right, which you can see is completely overloaded. And then it will turn around. I think, yeah, if we choose the station, yeah, you can see that it's completely overloaded. Marble is actually being shipped from far off lands to here. That's the end of the cargo. Turns around, moves forward a couple of yards, and then starts picking up people. And I think the people count is, yeah, it's pretty high. So, yeah, it's not everybody can get on. All right, so because that has no bricks on it and no real cargo, I'm going to use this opportunity to modify it. So first things first, what I'm going to do is take off these cars, and we need to find a loco. It doesn't have to be the same. Great Western Railway steam engines. We chose the cheapest thing out there, which was this one. I think we can go something. Actually, I think it was this one, 725. Let's go something different. Let's go, I know this one, the rebuild in 1907. So we'll choose the bottom and put that engine on there. And then from a state car point of view, I think they were okay. So we can put more of those on, which I believe is it these? Nope, that's a really big one. So we want the ones which support bricks. It might be, yes, this one. So we'll get this up to 120. And for this one, we'll give it a bit more rolling stock. I think we don't really have many choices in the Great Western Railway era. I think we still need to be using this one. Let's go up to, we have to go up to 120 as well. So we'll go one short. So we'll modify that, and we're making a new train. So this, in theory, should be able to go off with just that, and off they go. And then behind us, out of this new line, we should see a train emerge, yeah, from our shed over here. So this guy, waiting for free path. Why is that? Is that because there is... Why are you waiting for a free path? We have no signals over here. So it's going to come through here. Well, there's no signal there. But that should be fine. We're up to here. That signal should be enough. That's kind of weird. Weird. Because it should be able to come out of there, go across there. Huh. Let's put a signal there. That'll bring it up to there. And this is a real signal, right? Yeah, signal. Yeah. Oh, you know what it is? Let's press pause. This guy, there is no signal coming this way to force this across to the other platform. So if I had put a signal there, what would have happened is it would have said, hey, the one that's coming out is going to use this platform. So I'm going to use the alternate platform. But because we didn't have that signal there, the decision couldn't be made. So basically the decision about which platform you're going to, basically the block that you're going to, is defined by the previous signal, and that wasn't there. And I believe, let me turn the signals on. Yeah, the previous signal didn't exist. Yeah, so the previous signal, when it left this station here, is when it basically it made that decision. So Yeah, that was a mistake in the way that the signaling was done. So yeah, we'll have to wait for this guy to come in and out, and we don't get the opportunity for this guy to scoot across. But yeah, it worked out in the end anyway, because the speed limit across the round table here is super slow. Is that a train depot as well? It says Dresden Train Depot. I didn't realize. Yeah, I don't think that actually is a train depot. I think that's right. Yeah, it's weird. Round table. Just train mine. Yeah. And yeah, it's taking forever. Speed limit must be, what's the speed limit? 6. What's that? Maybe 4 miles per hour. Once that gets over there, it should be good. And yes, it does. I was going to ask, does the cargo train recognize that there is something over the road? And it does. That's really cool. Between episodes, I went and looked at the programming API for the game, because I wanted to know whether the yellow signals, the warning signals, were actually using logic from up the line. So this is pretty easy. A straight stop signal says, "Can I proceed? Yes or no." The yellow ones indicate that the next signal is in what position. So, for example, if this one had a yellow on it, it would reflect what this is. So this is going horizontal, so it would be horizontal back here. So it's giving you prior warning of the next thing. So I looked into the API of the game, and it does not exist. And so whenever you see these move around, and let's find a yellow signal and I'll show what I mean. Yellow, yeah, here's one. So when they get to here, it's just a deferred animation. So this is not reflecting, the warning is not reflecting the stop that's ahead of it. So it's just purely an animation. When the train enters the block, the signal is animated, it drops the red, and then 1 second later, whatever it is, it drops the yellow. So the yellow signal, Transport Fever 2 does not have, it's that dropping now, it's just an animation delay. In no way does that reflect the thing up the line. And I think that's kind of obvious. I should have known that based on what we always see, because we always see the two of them drop always. But yeah, I went and looked at the API for the modding APIs and stuff, and 100% it's just an animation. So basically these two are just linked. So just because we've got a warning one doesn't mean it actually reflects anything. All right, so where's our train that's coming out? Over here. So watch it coming into our new station, a new view. That's kind of cool. Over the trestle there. And then into here. And what we do need to do is change the line that it's on. So yeah, let's do that now. And so this one, we need to, yeah, we'll just call that, yeah, let's stay with Starlight. We'll keep it at the, but I'm going to get rid of the word shuttle and change it to passenger. And what we're going to do is manage the line. So currently, it leaves stairwell, and it just needs to go pedestrian, so we can get rid of the bricks and the cargo. So it's just going to go to the end of the line, and then this way, and then it does go around the platform across. This is the area that they're going to cross each other. This is double track in here, and it's also double track in there. And then it's going to come down and go into the station. And then when it gets to the station, we want to choose one of these platforms. I think this one here is a good enough default, but we actually can choose an alternate. So we'll actually give it 2 and 3 as well. Out of interest, the Maybury Valley line, yeah, it's defaulting to platform 3. Actually, we can just, there it is, it just came in. And it also can choose 2 as well if it happens to be busy. So yeah, it has all 3 available to it. That's the Maybury Valley line. And the Starwell one, same deal. It can choose all 3 if anything happens to be busy. And now we need a new line from, we'll go from the origin, which is basically where the bricks are, there. And then we'll come over to Drestoon Cargo. And let's choose, well, there's only two to choose from. It's these two left ones. I think we're using the blue for the main line, so just use number 2, but we will give it an alternate. And then we'll give this a name. I think I have a copy paste buffer. Yep, train, cargo, Starwell, Starlight. And then let's find the Maybury Valley line. And when it gets to here, you also can choose multiple platforms. So yeah, we've got, I'll bring up that again. The yellow line is going to go at the right hand side. That's a passenger one by default. And then it can use the other 2 passenger stations. The green is using the, not the green, the green is using this one by default, this left platform. You can see it's slightly darker. And then is choosing, 2 and 3, these 2 as well. You can't really see the green. I can see a little bit right there. And then the cargo is coming on the left and has an alternate of the middle. And then lastly is the Steel Express. That's the one that goes from here all the way to the other side of the map. We want it to go through the middle. There's not really much choice there. When it comes through here, there is only one track, and we don't really need to set a waypoint. So that's pretty simple, and it does have 2 platforms down the end. So yeah, there we go. So in theory, what are you? You are, there's our passenger line coming back. 98 out of 99. So it's just, actually what we haven't done is reassign this to the new line. So the cargo, this one. And so there you go. So that, that other train's actually going to the wrong place. This guy's unloading. Picked up 40, not bad. I see everybody walking over the bridge there. Ultra cool. And I think that's made that a little bit more efficient. Let's try to go find the other one. Have you picked anything up? I messed you up, so you can go back the other way and actually go get some bricks. It was running on the other line, and unfortunately it would have just gone into the passenger station and then come out again and not achieved anything. So we can watch this guy come in. Super slow. I think optically that is actually an uphill run. I think it is. Probably could do with a little bit of fencing here. I do like how this is turned up. It nestles in the trees quite nicely. You can see the road actually end up being quite a bit higher. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Down at the track level, you can see how I've spread some rocks throughout the underbrush under here. So it kind of fades the quarry into the land. And I really liked how I added this tram at the back here. Kind of gives it a more of an explanation of how it's getting all the goods down to the station. The big discoveries I made, I think I mentioned it multiple times already, but is if you hold down shift while you're painting, you can paint areas that normally you can't. So if we go, for example, this color, normally if I click here, you can hear me do it, but you can hear it, but you can't see it. If I hold down shift, I can actually paint in reserved areas, and so it's a good way of getting, like, even on top of roads. Yeah, it's a good way of doing that. So, yeah. And then these hills were simple as I just went into the train tool, and we can do it like over here, for example. I just pull that up and pulled it down a bit sometimes, and there we have got a bit of hill, paint tools. So that works, and it's not working out of the tree, so hold down shift, and then under the trees works as well. You can see that work. Yeah, so I just did that lots and lots of times around here. All right, so how's this guy going? So we're going to have a stop sign here. I wonder if, the other train is coming out of the tunnel. We did make this with 2 tracks last episode. I'm okay with it having 1. I like the idea that these two are sharing time. Sure, we may not make as much money, but I think I'm okay with that. We only picked up 6 bricks, which is kind of an issue. Oh, that is very close. How... Oh, there's enough space there. It looked closer than it was. I think probably what happened is because the original line, we removed the cargo station. What that means is it lost all of its customers, and so the need dropped to 0. And so what has to happen is that has to get built up again. So yeah, this thing will return to wanting to deliver like 100 or so. Yeah, I think it was on 150. Let's have a look. Yeah, 150. Yeah, and the consumers are through the roof. So that should work. And the station, yeah, it's building up again. I think I'm going to change this to say, hey, wait till you're full. Now, it's got the 30-second thing. And then from Jastoon, we'll just pick up whatever there is. I'm going to leave it so that there is no filter. So you can see under suppliers, we're actually getting marble from the other side of the map, which means when it arrives, it is worth a fortune. Very, very low transport percentage, but we get to make a huge amount of money because of that, because it has to come so far. So yeah, this is thundering into the station. Let's see, this guy's coming in. There's another one right behind us. Looks like the passenger train. I like how this area turned out. I mean, it was a boring, big grass hill when we started, and now it's got undulations. It's got this beautiful horseshoe curve to it. Lots of foliage changes, lots of fence changes. And it's great to see this whole town grow up. The semaphore is working right there. Shows that we're going down the middle track. Yeah, I like it. Looks pretty good. I deliberately made this area a little bit more overgrown, like it's a more of a high altitude type thing, where there's not that many trees around. It's a bit more alpine, kind of reflects the rocky nature of the area. Yeah, because we changed the line, we also don't have anything here to pick up and take back, so like marble and everything else would have all despawned. So this guy's not going to have a huge amount to do for a while, but that's okay. It'll build up again. The detailing, I did it for about 3 hours, maybe 4 even, and it actually fixed the money problem. So we were at 650 kind of flat, and with a couple of tweaks, it was able to gain about $1 or $2 million per year. And because I was running it quite fast, I was able to move it up to 750. So, I mean, from an earnings point of view, we're not making a huge amount of profit per year. We're only talking about 5 or 10 million. And so if I buy trains or something, it's still a bit risky. And you can see there that the passenger train actually came into the same track as the cargo, and so yeah, we'll see alternate tracks getting used in the future. But the good news is it has left that steel one empty so that it can thunder through if it happens to be there. Yeah, I really like this. I think it's turned out quite nice. I went a little bit more futuristic and I put some cars down, which I don't know if exist yet. I think these might be 3 or 4 years ahead of schedule. One thing I did notice is when the passengers come off the station, some of them are walking down the ramp here. I'm not quite sure why. I assume it's because, these connections, you can see that connection right there. I think that means that it just comes up to here and they walk down here. And because I used a road in here, I think that's what caused it to make it a valid track. It kind of gives it a bit of life, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm quite happy with what's happened here. There's one more tram. I think we had 2 before, now we have 3. And actually, I think it looks like when I added the tram, it's made the finances a little bit worse, so I might have to undo that. And then what else happened? Yeah, and then over here I did a bit of beautification with the depot here. This is where the local deliveries come, and a nice road around that. Actually, that's interesting because I put down this road here to accelerate growth, and the town has put this one across the back. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, I like this formal hedge and a whole lot of flowers there. I think that works quite well. So yeah, a bit of an upgrade for this area. I think when it comes to this guy, this is the Maybury line. This is the one that, you know, delivers everything back to the main part of the map. I don't know if I want to add any more rolling stock. What's our finances like for the line? Yeah, it's making profits. We could be pulling more of these red bricks out, but I'd rather keep the boxcars going because that's actually what's really coming inbound. If you look at Drestoon, all these things, nearly all of these are boxcar based. So I think we'll keep this ratio and just slowly deliver out the bricks, even though it's only 12 at a time. Yeah, and then how is our passenger line? There's our new one. Yeah, it's a little bit empty. Hopefully we haven't messed up the finances by not having it mixed. But we'll see. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to see more of this Great Western Railway action. And we'll see you next time in Transport Fever 2. I'll let you watch this guy come in and sign off. See you, everybody.